Hey guys, it's Whitney. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be doing a tag. I haven't done a tag in quite a while and I've wanted to do this one for a couple of years, but I always miss that little window of time where I feel comfortable doing it, which is just June, because June is the middle of the year and I want to do it in the middle of the year. The first question is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2020? I'm gonna have to go with Trail of Lightning. This one is addictive. It's such a quick read. It's also really interesting because it's based on Native American myths, legends. I'm honestly not sure what to call it. It's one of those rare books that when I picked it up and I finished it, I immediately started on the second book, and that just doesn't happen normally for me. I usually like to have a palate cleanser in between books in a series. The second question is, what is the best sequel you have read in 2020? So I don't know if this actually counts, but it's my channel, so I'm counting it. And I'm gonna go with Come Tumbling Down by Shawnna McGuire. This is like the 5th book in a series, so it's technically a sequel. This is one of my favorites in the series. If you guys are interested in knowing my rankings of these, I would be more than happy to share. The third question is a new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. For me, that has to be The House on the Cerulean Sea. I can't believe I haven't given in and read this one already. When I first saw this book, I definitely thought it was a middle grade because of its cover, but it's not. This is an adult fantasy. It is apparently very whimsical, fantastical, and everyone that I've seen who's read it has loved it. It is also pitched as being 1984 meets the Umbrella Academy, which yes, please, that is absolutely what sold me on this. Before I bought it, I was on the fence, and then someone described it that way and I immediately put it in my cart. The fourth question is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? I've got two. So for me, it's either gonna be The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue or Over the Woodward Wall. I don't know anything about it really, except for I'm buying it. Number 5 is biggest disappointment, and for me, I also have two for this one. The first one is Foxlow, which had a great concept and I thought I was gonna love it, and I didn't. I ended up giving it 2 stars. And the other one is Reverie, which is about dreams coming to life, and apparently that's just not a thing I'm into unless it's done a very specific way. The fifth question is, what was your biggest surprise? So for me, it's one that I picked up on a whim off my shelf. I was just in the mood for something short, and that is Alice by Christina Henry. There was a huge part of me that had been doubting that I actually liked retellings of any kind, so I decided I was going to pick this one up and see if I liked it, because she has a lot of other books that are retellings, and it turns out I like them if they're nice and bloody. So this book is a trip, and if you are squeamish or you are triggered easily by a lot of different things, I would not read this book. If you still want to, I would definitely look up trigger warnings for it because it is absolutely brutal. Number 7 is new favorite author. This can be a new to you or a debut author. For this one, I went with Jessica Townsend, who wrote Nevermore. I don't have that many favorite middle grade authors, but I adore this book, and I think that her writing is very whimsical and so vivid. I would definitely recommend this book even if you're not a huge fan of middle grade. This is so much fun. Number 8 is newest fictional crush. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really get like crushes because I read a lot of YA and they're teenagers and I'm not a teenager, but if I had to pick somebody, it would probably be Sal the Cacophony from Seven Blades in Black, which is a freaking phenomenal high fantasy novel. It has a female-female relationship with a bisexual main character. I love it. And I got sucked in when I was reading it and I could not stop. It took me a couple of days to read, and it's probably a 600 to 800 page book. Number 9, newest favorite character. I have to compose myself because this is such a controversial series and controversial character, and that is Andrew Minyard from the Foxhole Court, the All for the Game series. I need a whole video in itself to talk about that series because I am at a loss for words. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. I'm not really a book crier, so there have only really even been a handful of books that have made me cry at all, and I haven't had one do it this year, so sorry. Number 11 is a book that made you happy, and for this one I'm gonna go with a graphic novel called Mooncakes. It is the cutest story about a witch and a werewolf who reconnect after years of being apart, and they have to figure out how to get rid of this demon in the woods. I think they called it a demon. Might just be a spirit. Number 12 is the most beautiful book that you have bought or received. So mine is going to be one that I received. It was a birthday gift, and that is Ruthless Gods by Emily A. Duncan. This book is just beautiful. Maybe it's just my personal taste and aesthetics with it, but I love it. It makes me very happy. Even the end pages are really nice. Just whole overall package of this book. Number 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Honestly, ideally it would be all of them, but that's not possible. So since I can't pick all the books, I picked 3 that I'm going to show you right now. There are so many more, but I picked a middle grade, a YA, and an adult. So the first one is The Screaming Staircase, which is book 1 in the Lockwood & Co. series. I've heard some great things about this one. The YA is Illuminae by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I feel like I'm the last person ever to read this book. I am excited about it because of the really interesting format that this is done in. This will probably be one of those that I read physically and with the audiobook at the same time. And the third one that I picked is by one of my favorite authors that I just haven't gotten around to yet, and that is Middle Game by Shauna McGuire. Number 14, what are you yelling for? Number 14 is favorite book community member, and I want to know, why do you want me to pick just one? So what I'm going to do instead of picking just one is I'm going to just name off a bunch of the people that I watch pretty frequently at the moment, and I'm going to consider them tagged. So if you're on this list, consider yourself tagged to do this tag. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to, obviously. So my list is Clear Rousseau, Books and Lala, Becca in the Books, Hardback Hoarder, Jesnevertheless, Holly Hart's Books, Shae Geeks Out, My Reading is Odd, and Jadeyraereads. So you guys are officially tagged now. So question of the day. What has been your most disappointing book of 2020 so far? And yes, I'm stealing the question from the tag because I want to know. That is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.